All right, so what do we think about this draft, boys?
So, I mean, SKT lost with this draft and basically drafted the same because they just swapped Trundle for Time Catch.
Yep.
And otherwise exactly the same.
It's still a fine composition, that's the thing.
It's still pretty much the same as the first comp.
Right. And they blind pick the Azir one more time.
Yep. Do they blind pick every lane this time? They do.
Yep.
No, wait. No,
But-
the Echo.
But it's different this game, right? Because unlike the last game where they ended up with losing lane matchups, like theoretically they should be doing pretty well in lane here. Especially their bottom lane. I mean, Alistar,
It's
Ezreal.
double tier.
Double tier, right.
Double tier is the big issue.
Yeah.
Right. Double tier and Devourer, but of course Kindred does have the pressure spike early. But so does Nidalee, so you'd have to give the advantage to Nidalee as well.
I think double tier. Like, I think this composition is much better for SKT in this particular game against what we see from the Flash Wolves.
Sure. I can agree with that, but Nidalee once again will find it hard to have pressure. Like, Nidalee's pressure has to be in the peanut counter jungling sense and not in the ganking sense. There's still nothing to gank. There's less to gank than there was last game. So Nidalee has to do a peanut impression.
No,
Two
I
games,
need to
two
use
first
that.
pick Nidalees.
I need to use that.
Oh, yeah.
Move the
That
water.
keyboard might be somewhat important.
So let's get into the actual game itself.
You know, send your hashtags.
Just send them out. We're in China.
Yeah.
Twitter hashtag super important.
Hashtag pay Doa.
Hashtag pay Doa.
Hashtag Paydora, hashtag discount Doa. I think I know which one will win.
So we're seeing standard lanes here, which theoretically is pretty good for SKT.
It should be great for them.
Azir has
really
pressure
good.
on Rise.
They have double exhaust versus Rise, which is great. But I really like what SKT has here, as opposed to last game. Even though they blind picked all their shit again.
How do you feel about them blind picking Nidalee over Kindred? When Kindred is like Blank's best champion.
No, we don't feel fine about that. Right. I think that I was tweeting about this earlier, but I think the Nidalee priority is really weird. But at least they have a way to use the Nidalee.
But when
this
they
game.
blind picked Nidalee the first time, it's because Kindred was not available. They took
Yeah,
it over
They,
Kindred.
yeah, that's the thing that was the most.
And Blank
confusing for me.
literally
Oh, it was
redefined
banned.
it. It was banned.
was
That's what I'm
banned.
saying. But in this game, it was not banned, clearly.
Yeah, they should have taken the Kindred.
That's the crazy thing to me.
But regardless, the Nidalee here is better because at least Nidalee can play in the bottom side of the enemy jungle. In theory, this game, because they should be winning
Against
mid.
Tia, Ezreal, and
They should be
Tia
winning
Rise.
against the 2-tier, so it's not so bad.
Okay.
Right? And I agree with Blank's pathing here too. He's going to start on the weaker side, and then he's the same pathing he had actually in the last game. Traps with the Poppy, like literally exactly the same thing.
Yep. Which is going to be scouted now, so he'll have to modify it.
So in the last game, he went Wolves to Raptors to enemy blue.
So what is someone watching this? Like, let's say, so it's CLG's analyst, so Zix is watching
So-
this. What do you do to stop this start? Do you invade the Raptors to clear the traps? Like, because he's done this 2 games in a row in Italy.
Right, and it does speed things up, obviously. I mean, I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth the risk to clear those traps, but it's also worth noting that look at what Faker did right there. He goes out and at 2 minutes puts a ward down at enemy blue. So you know they're starting the exact same jungle path that they did with this composition in the game earlier today.
Yeah,
Which is a bit predictable, right?
sure.
And the difference is that Kindred's going to go Krugs to Raptors, not going for a full red side clear. Well, actually, he is going to go. He's going to double back for the full red side clear. So it's literally exactly the same thing.
Yep.
But this time, I think SKT's playing it better because they have the pressure now on this side of the map. So
Sure.
it's definitely better.
Can we see the keystones again?
What do you want to ask? I know what they are.
What does that also have?
He has Thunderlords.
Thunderlords.
Okay. So SwordArt cut from the same cloth as Mata.
Yeah.
Which is the best surprising.
2015, that cloth was.
By the way,
dodgy,
people
but-
people underestimate SwordArt. SwordArt has
Sword's fucking amazing.
yeah, he's really good, and I've always said this, but he's been consistently in the top 50 in Korean Challenger for like his entire career.
Yeah.
He's really a good player.
He has been.
Also,
The
he doesn't have
shining
much
light
to
on-
work with, right?
He
Yeah,
and
NL.
He and Maple have been the shining lights on Flash Wolves for the
Karsa's
longest
super
time.
good.
I mean, there's
Karsa is great in the jungle, but like
There's a
him
very-
and Maple have just been so fucking.
There's a
huge.
very easy comparison. He's basically Mad Life on CJ over his
Yeah.
career, right? And that he's not had much to work with in AD carries, and he's
But-
clearly a superstar.
Weirdly enough, they both have had Kramer
They
now.
both had Kramer.
Only one of them had given up Kramer.
That language barrier.
I don't think it's that. I think it's just if you have Kramer, you have to play around Kramer. That's just the rule of Kramer.
But there's the headbutt pole, sorta. Going aggressive, but there's the pillar down bang, avoiding some damage, but Wolf just...
I mean, fine trade right there.
Yeah.
I mean, Trundle's not super great into Ezreal because if you place the pillar, he can just E onto the other side of it.
Yeah.
He's better against Lomo. He's good against Sivir.
Yep.
Did you tweet about this one?
No.
YOLO.
YOLO.
YOLO?
We'll see if he can actually abuse the BF sword versus tier that Deficio loves to see. Lucian hold over.
So this is exactly what you would expect from this point in the game.
High pressure.
High
Push
pressure.
you both in, and Italy can do whatever she wants. In the
Karsa also is going to enemy blue right now, which is smart. Like, I think they saw Faker dip out of lane. They definitely saw Faker dip out of lane for the ward, and they knew that he had warded blue.
Well, Casa knows that there's no way he'll ever get on this blue side as a
Yeah. And they know that the pathing because Faker went into the... They saw Faker go into the enemy jungle and place that ward. So this is smart pathing from Karsa.
Hey, Casa's really good too.
Yeah.
early and try and stack it up in the lane, or go on to do something else, but there's the headbutt pole, one more.
But you can see that SKT also knows that he could be going for a dive on this side because they already have the ward and try.
Damage as the mystic shots are flying through. Wolf there as well, throws down it.
That's really annoying.
He's trying to go to town on these guys.
Yeah, I mean they're already calling the. Oh well, Bang actually decides to try this potion and get right back in here.
Good old Trundle.
Relic shield gonna help heal them back up as well.
Well, the game's going better, boys. No one's died.
Of this, that makes it somehow
Yeah, this is how we would expect this game to go just from a theory perspective already.
Laning here, back to the attracting junglers. We got one of the early invades there from.
Like, you expect also MMD on this, on the Echo to get a little bit of advantage over the Poppy early, too.
Much more wave clear.
Yeah, it comes back to Dark Seal, so pretty standard.
On the wolf camp, so
But Duke has to use the TP. I don't think Duke has to use the TP right now. I think that's a mistake. Duke rather. So Duke pushes out when he knows Echo's coming back in. He doesn't see Echo TPing back into lane, right?
Yeah.
So he shouldn't use his TP right here. He should be walking.
Yeah, just use the
No, there's no way he loses CS right here.
just use the W for the increased moves to get back to like.
Yeah,
Why does he TP that?
I don't know. Super weird. Because you could argue maybe that if they were trying to set up a dive that you would TP right there just to push
But
the
they're not
wave
trying to
faster,
set
but
up
they're not trying to set up a dive, so there's no reason to use TP.
Weird.
So now they just give TP advantage over for the next 5 minutes to Flash Wolves, which is
Oh,
selling
I'm
Flash
sorry. Double TP advantage over.
Yep.
Yeah, true. That's huge.
Flank doing the same thing, both of these junglers moving very swiftly. One more here for Cast will be able to take that one down. The camp ahead after that Grom,
Finish those tiers, yes. Tier Sapphire Crystal.
which is delete jungle.
Just the idea of Maple on Rise is terrifying to me. Like, this guy is so good on pretty much any champion.
Great player.
Giving him Rise is just horrifying.
Kindred.
Alright, it's nothing though.
Nope. Just a little bit, but Duke says you're just being annoying, Casa.
Alright.
Don't worry about this.
So Karsa shows that's going to give Italy an opportunity to get in there. Fortunately for Karsa, he already took the camp, so Blank won't be able to get it. But Baker's going to focus around. And
So they're trying to roam right now, but it's...
they do get away.
They probably could have committed harder to that, actually.
So Blank won't be able to get it. But Baker's going to focus around, and they're going to be outnumbered.
I think you can make
He's level
this...
5.
Yeah.
Okay. If Faker's level 5, I agree. You can't really make that play.
All summoners are up and he's level 5.
Right. Surprised. I mean, I guess Blank doesn't really have anything to force Kindred into that. But numbers advantage not used.
Yeah, Faker actually going to give Mabel some time on his own there in the mid lane with the wave pushed towards him. Makes his straight back in. He's going to even the score here. 5 CS, 6 CS in the lead with Maple, but nothing to write home about. Both of these
It really impresses me how Rises make this a farm lane in what sounds like it should be a terrible matchup. But
sitting in my typewriter.
What's going to trigger Atlas to go right ahead?
Well, you see Faker's not playing as aggressively this time around either.
he's learning.
I don't know. I assume
He's adapting.
Is he?
that actually is pretty.
At this part of the game, yes.
However, this has allowed, you know, a pretty significant
But Casa,
advantage right now for Blank because he's actually cleared out that side of the jungle and he's going to get some extra camps right now.
that's a very good.
Because there's nowhere now for Karsa to go.
Yeah, but it's hard. What I
Given the game,
paper, scan it in.
is
Send home.
Blank getting an extra camp slash...
That's pretty hipster of you.
Oh,
Look at the
there you go.
Yeah, exactly right. Spear, not gonna
Blank's spears have not been on point today.
But
Yeah.
the thing is, like, think back to all Peanuts games of Nidalee. Like, I don't remember stuff like this. I remember getting in the enemy jungler's face and running the jungle rather than getting a couple of extra camps and optimistic spears.
What else do you remember about his Nidalee games?
What are we fishing for here?
Red Smite.
It's true. He's gone Tracker's Knife as well.
Yep.
Well,
It's just-
I mean, Red Smite with Peanut is pretty much just.
All I mean is, like,
as well.
Rise went tier, Ezreal went tier, they both got pushed in, the lanes went as expected. I don't see how Nidalee getting an extra camp is what they should be doing with the Nidalee. The Nidalee should be dicking on people.
Yeah, but I think you do that with Red Smite. And remember the stats for, you know, Peanut versus Blank is that Blank goes Tracker's Knife 90% of games.
So don't play Nidalee.
Agreed.
Don't get pressure in 2 lanes and then farm and put a sick ward down as Nidalee. Like, the wards aren't going to lead to anything because you're against double teleport and they're just going to play defensively because they're farming anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Nidalee priority really tilts me.
long period of time, and they'll always have a lot of help to answer any skirmishes. This is something we see from more and more of the top junglers.
Well,
pro
I don't
They-
disagree with you, but
Yeah.
Purchases of these hunter potions as well as of
the problem is
They
it's
should- they
Nidalee
should
was
have gone for
nerfed
Kindred.
since 6.6 too.
And they're not big,
Not
no.
base. That's true.
to react. Junglers always
Kindred's the only one that's been untouched, and she gets touched, she gets nerfed in the next patch.
more dynamic
6.9. Apparently it hasn't changed a lot from what I read about. Specifically, Clear is still going to be blazing fast.
And ahead in there is actually being
Well, I mean, on this patch, Kindred has the nerf as far as like the lamps or spike placement.
Yeah, but again, that's like...
I don't think
different.
it's actually that big.
It's not as huge as the nerfs to Nidalee.
See, the nerf to Kindred in 6.9 is about her level 3 E-ing someone and
Yeah,
killing
yeah.
them instantly, basically.
I think with Kindred though, like there aren't that many situations where that R nerf actually takes effect.
I mean, it's got some skill cap attached to it at least.
Sure, but you still have a lot of dashes and ability to move
But you
around,
can't
so-
flash R in the same way you could, right? You kind of have to be closer to
Yeah,
flash
yeah,
R.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is an effect, but I think good teams can
So,
mitigate
so the
that.
nerf on 6.9 is that her jungle clear, basically her E, W, Q, Q, Q does a lot less damage to champions, but they have like bonus damage to
Like that
monsters
right
to make
there.
up for it. This is
Okay, why is
So
why
what's
is
this
why
like?
is Karsa even? They have both their solo lanes are back right now. Karsa should be dead.
well, also Rise is literally backing at the same time.
No. Echo's already back. Maple has no mana and is backing right now. There's no way Karsa should be able to get in
And he
here.
literally queues into it with no vision.
Yep.
And puts down the ward and is surprised to see Blank.
But it's really difficult to fight Kindred while
And he's just like, okay, I'll just leave that.
Wolf is up. The W. Faker goes in. Flash combo.
Just mechanical misplay.
I mean, he flashed.
Do you guys want more popcorn?
Yeah, we're fine.
This is just great reaction by Flash Wolves. Like they just collapse so fast.
Well, they have double
Top
TP.
of SKT.
Yeah, they have double TV.
Double
Yeah.
TP.
As Duke is trying to run away from this one. Wolf here as well, but so SwordArt. The ultimate gonna
Info and gets his flash out.
It's not a mechanical misplay, I mean.
But it's really
He could have flashed for it, he didn't want to.
while the circle there for Wolf is up. The W.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Gets the flash combo and gets his flash.
But then the reaction just comes in here. Maple's already there.
Well, because they got double
TP
TP.
in from yeah.
they destroy him for first blood, but SKT, they've turned on the castle lands.
I mean, you understand why they went for this though, because Duke
Yes.
was already there. They didn't have to use the TP.
As Duke is trying to
If Blank's first instinct wasn't to go backwards, it would have gone differently, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's a big mistake.
Because remember, Maple can't teleport yet. He's still charging up the mana. He couldn't have done anything. He can't teleport. Still, he can't teleport. Still, he can only teleport now.
gets the flash.
So if Blank had gone with Faker,
Teleport coming in now.
It would have been a kill already.
He's gonna pick up Blank.
he should have gone immediately onto Karsa instead of splitting.
Yep.
Also,
he just gets cleaned up in the back anyway.
Combo and gets the splash out.
I know this is like gonna blow some fans' minds, but that was 2 TPs on the same board. Did you know you could do that?
No.
My God.
Shit.
But there's no information. You have to be staring straight at it. It's like staring at the sun, Monty.
Double teleport. What does it mean?
It means kills, actually, when
Yeah,
guns rise.
It does.
But if you actually look at how this thing's shaped up, because they were going to come down that ward, if Blank had hopped up to kill Carson
I know.
instead, it would have been a 3 versus 1 easy kill for SKT.
But, I mean, the guy...
Blank misplayed that.
The guy who goes green smite Nidalee and doesn't go and contest the enemy jungler isn't going to bounce forward, you know? Like, that's just reality.
Because even if, at that point, even if Karsa casts the Lamb's Respite there, he heals 3 members of SKT, and then it's a 3 versus 2.
Exactly. Lamb's Respite loses them more than it gains.
So, that's just a misplay by Blank.
Ignite!
Duke could have just flashed the wall and been out.
He wasn't in range of the wall.
Yeah.
He was. No, he wasn't.
No, he
At that
wasn't.
point.
No, he wasn't. No, still not in range, still not in range. Still
No,
not in
no, no.
range.
Before this. Go back. Right there.
Yeah, he could
Yeah,
have.
that's
Yeah.
true. You're right.
Like, he could have
He
just
would've been
flashed the
flashing
wall
to
and he would have
Wolf
been
as well.
straight into Wolf's welcoming arms and he would have been out.
Yeah,
He
so-
didn't, I don't think he saw SwordArt coming up, so... Then he's got pounded.
Up there and
Either way,
I don't think Sorta has to be there for you to get wrecked right there.
it's, yeah, like, Duke should have just flashed the wall on that curve down when he picked up the bulwark.
He didn't want
He
to
should have just went over the wall. But
There's so much you see there. There's
It's-
Time Winder and then the W. It
It's-
doesn't even
it's-
matter
it's
if
a
Sorta
better,
is there.
It's a better safe than sorry situation. Like, you just flash
Where's
the wall, you
Bang
get
doing
out, and then you're
this?
fine.
Oh, he's bot. Okay.
Yeah, he's bot.
Making sure.
Like,
No, Duke misplayed then.
it was, yeah, which is the fucking theme of the day.
Yeah, it's 2 SKT misplays right there.
and Flash Wolves, not only do they get the first blood, but they get the extra kill on top of it. Really decisive collapse there.
This is great for Flash Wolves too,
Yeah, because...
because Ezreal gets a farm.
Ezreal down
I mean, he gets pounded a little bit, but yeah, he doesn't die.
Come on.
SwordArt takes the bite on the arm, doesn't even care.
It's a funny.
by the horns, as it were, but he's actually gonna get trophied here as Wolf, just smacking him with his baseball bat. The chomp coming down, SwordArt saying, "I just want to go back to."
So what we have to look at here and why Wolf is doing this is because now they have TP advantage.
All right, now I'm gonna bash you.
So any commitment on the bottom side of the map is going to be they have pressure and they have TP advantage, so he can go ahead and do that.
Maple gets the flash out of Karsa, but Maple gets the flash and a big chunk of health out of
Yeah, Blank really messed that up.
jungler kill first because Kindred with the ultimate.
Whoa, meanwhile, Maple
This is when Maple just really oversteps, though.
picking up the turret.
Whoa.
Juke in there.
But, wait, there's more.
Helps out. And Faker not
That was sick.
Look at Maple. That's a great pick of Maple. I love it.
The W's not quite enough there as he's taking up the turret. There's Juke in there.
We're going to do the slow-mo of Maple.
He's like, oh, fuck, I'm
Wait
dead.
for it.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Look at Faker. Oh, that's so good.
It's just polar opposites.
I know.
Maple's like, fuck yeah, and Faker's like, I'm fucking tilted.
Takes the snipe.
Oh my goodness. So, yeah, Bang farming up his call, NL farming up his tier. Oh,
Meanwhile.
They can't see Faker very well.
Oh, you can't see Faker?
Oh, shit, yeah, because of the...
Too bad.
Oh!
It's RC.
Well, just so you know,
That's true.
Faker looks real fucking tilted.
I like how SwordArt was involved in mid, then instantly goes bot and he killed Bang.
NL takes the snipe.
oh my goodness. So, yeah, Bang farming up his call, NL farming up his tier.
NL got the kill at... Did he get the red buff from the kill? He did, right? Did he get the red buff from Faker? He did, yeah.
Yeah. Because Faker got the kill onto
Yeah.
Karsa.
And then Moby Boot... Not even Moby Boot, just normal Boot Alistair came along.
He's taking up the turret. There's Juke in there. Make sure that the tower helps out. And Faker not gonna be dead. It's a showstopper.
Red buff donation?
But what happened in this bottom lane? Because why is Wolf in River right now?
I guess he was roaming up.
They do have 2 pink wards in the river, so they should feel... I mean, this is just a mistake by Bang.
Yeah, he have it. The red buff is the big thing, yeah.
SwordArt, it's a great engage, though.
If they didn't have red buff, he wouldn't have had the damage to get this kill.
That's also true.
They get 2 extra orders and the burn because of the red buff.
Flash Wolves team fight
Don't worry, it's still going.
Well, it doesn't have that wolf and flash wolves.
Obviously. Bank was smart. He tried to get both kills.
Yeah.
It looks bad, but he was trying.
No, yeah, that's good.
Meanwhile, also,
Yeah, they can't. Wow, I'm actually surprised they did. That's a really decisive call by Flash Wolves.
Yeah.
That's a really
using
good
that
call.
dragon.
yeah.
I'm surprised they took that. Not many teams would have taken that dragon. Like, that's not a response that most teams would have to that situation. Getting your AD carry killed on the bottom side of the map, and then SwordArt just like
until now.
yeah, SwordArt just piecing out and going ahead and taking the dragon with Kindred. That's like a really good call. That's really good.
Yeah. Helps you have Devour Kindred already, though.
Yeah, but
Literally, the Kindred just finished Devourer, so it was perfect time.
yeah, great,
5 stacks. Boom.
great call.
Watch this though. It is unbelievable that the level 1 E doesn't kill him. It does like 90 damage.
Yeah.
And then it actually works out for the team, right? Because he gets the red
He
buff.
knows about it right at the last
Yeah.
second, too.
He
He's
got-
like,
he got
oh,
the call."
shit.
That's when you know it's not your day on Azir.
It really was not today for Faker.
No, he's looked uncharacteristically poor on this champion today.
Well, his recent development is not showing up on the international stage.
That's true.
Because the funny thing is that even when we were like, everyone was pooping on his Azir, his like win rate was super high on it. He just looked unconvincing,
Yeah.
and then now he's actually losing. Going for it again. It's really, really hard to steal blue from bot lane.
Yeah. Blank took it though.
Did he?
If he had sent that out.
No, he
Faker
didn't.
got it.
Oh. Okay.
I thought he did.
Because all those famous steals were mid lane Ezreal from Faker. Not,
Yeah.
not
I really
bot
thought he
lane.
did.
Not bot lane Ezreal.
If he had sent it out about a second sooner, he might
No,
have
you
been able
just
to do it.
You can't do it.
He can't do it.
Said he won't do it.
Especially when they nerf
You
Ezreal's
pussy
ult combo.
NL. You won't.
It's not even worth it.
It's not even worth it. He should actually save that.
When you're Ezreal in lane with like 3 mana items, you don't just ult other lanes.
With the state of the state of the way that the
But you should get
cooldown is on
punished
the
for
ultimate
it.
now, then yeah.
But for Flash Wolves,
He's already got it
you
almost back
got
up.
you got double tier and you're only 500k or 500 in the hole. Like, and you got 2 kills on your Ezreal and a kill your net positive on your Rise. It's a really good situation.
But this should never have happened. Because, like, we already talked about it. The Nidalee's contributed nothing, and double teleport's been enough to actually get them through the
Yep.
the tier stack. It's crazy.
Using Korean terms, the 500k.
The 500k.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're 500,000 won behind.
We're not clear what currency they use on the Rift.
I mean, is it like gold pieces?
It's a lot of money. Like,
In Korea, they just say won.
Pounds?
Do they really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they just say like 5 million won behind or something?
no.
No, they just
501.
Oh.
That's
That
pretty
makes the
funny.
game sound really cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, when you
500
actually
won's
think
like
about it,
less than 50 cents, by the way, so that's hilarious. They're doing so well, they're like $10 a head.
yeah, it's 1,000 won to $1, so.
I didn't know they used won, that's hilarious.
yeah.
I thought they would just
one
use
for
gold.
everything. No, they use one for everything.
That's really funny.
What's going on here?
Just
is
a
what
free
happens.
tower
So
take,
they've
that's all,
taken down
baby.
the
Like,
tower, right? Oh wait, let me be analyst for a second. They've taken down the tower.
They have. They put the Kindred in the lane. And that worked out pretty well.
Meanwhile, the Nidalee in the lane.
It's not working out as well.
what do you mean, man? You get the heal steroid on the Azir, that's golden.
I mean, they could. They were so late that they couldn't pressure because SwordArt was already on the run. So good positioning. All they can do is move to top side and take Herald. But they can still push back with the Herald buff if they use it properly on blank. Like, there is counterplay right now.
Is there though?
I like that the Twitch chat just steadily devolves as it goes on.
That's how.
They're just like, Susie analysis, haha, Susie, ha ha ha, and then eventually just ends with woman with like
Leave me alone.
a smiley
Woman
face.
analyst.
It's just like, oh,
How much do we have to pay Monty, Doa, and Papa, and Achilleos to not go to Worlds and just do this and meme with us? Would $50,000 be enough?
Definitely.
Each, definitely. OGN rates, baby.
yeah.
I wish we could just be full disclosure about all the money stuff.
Yeah, I wish we could do. It's less than you guys think. Let's put it that way.
Depressingly.
My figure was very much overshot earlier.
Slight CS lead there for Fago with the exhaust that he's picked up. True Shot Barrage once again nails the golden chicken.
Alright, Twitch chat. You heard them. $50,000. They won't go to Worlds. Go for it.
I mean, for $50,000, I could take a fucking G2 vacation. Like, that'd be great.
Bottom lane is being pushed in. MMD's going to try and delay this one as well, but he's got to be careful. They have a little bit of vision in their own jungle. Here comes SKT trying to collapse on him. He's going to see it, but just at the last
No, there's no pressure here, and so we should go back and talk about this a little bit more because like Flash Wolves makes good lane assignments, right? They already have the Sunfire Cape onto Echo,
Sure.
so they have some form of wave clear to send into this lane. And Bang is busy taking red buff, so he's not pushing the wave, so there's no pressure on the turret, and they've already swapped the Ezreal back into the top side.
Ezreal in the lane by himself.
Yep.
Exactly what you want. Rocks Tigers did this a lot at the start of the season.
And SKT is still just trying to... Like, why would you push down the mid turret with this Rift Herald? Where you want to go... So, where you want to go with this Rift...
Poppy lane. Oh, sorry, the
The
Echo lane.
What? Yeah, exactly. The Lucian lane, because you have a longer lane. Because right here, the minion wave is building up. Right? You see, there's about a wave and a half down on this bottom side of the screen. So the longer lane and the more minions you're going to get, Faker can hold his own in this mid lane. It's not going to be an issue. You just want to try and match pressure right here. And instead, like, Wolf and Blank have no business in this mid lane right now. And you almost never want a Rift Herald buff in the mid lane if you haven't taken out the side lanes yet, because you can just develop larger minion waves because of the greater distance.
I mean, there's an exception. Like, if Poppy was showing a mid or Maokai was showing a mid, you can go to
Sure.
the Rise lane. But when you're talking about Azir and Nidalee, it doesn't do anything to
No.
put the Rift Herald in mid.
No, and instead, like,
Because diving Rise is a tried and true strategy, so they cannot dive without Poppy. He's their only engage.
yeah. So, surprisingly, like, SKT is losing to double tier. Like, this shouldn't really happen. But the lane assignments have been much better from Flash Wolves than they have from SK Telecom.
SKT trying to collapse on him. He's going to see it, but just at the last moment, they see the ward placed, and they actually call
This is another one of those games where people will point to lots of things, and I think it's just...
the outer string of turrets.
You're drafting Nidalee at first pick and not using it. Like, you deserve to lose, you know? This doesn't achieve anything this game. You let double tier get away with a situation they should never get away with.
Attribute a big lead just to outer turrets, because outer turrets go down so easily in the mid game.
Because the thing about double tier is that, like, especially on Ezreal tiers, like, Ezreal tier is like really weak, but Ezreal hits the second item much faster, and his 2 item is like among the strongest in the game.
Yeah.
Like, Iceborne Mana Moon Ezreal is very powerful.
For that next team fight. Right now, the important part is that Flash Wolves are denying those 2 turrets for right now for the team fight.
There's still chances, though, because Faker definitely has the wave clear to make this work in the mid lane. So they just need to play around this. They need to try and equalize turrets in the side lanes right now, and they're spending too much time around Faker and mid, honestly.
Well, it's because Dragon's spawn. And they want second Dragon.
Okay, but they need to push out bottom lane if they want to make that happen.
Yeah, he popped that call as well, so we got the cash in.
So that's sort of making up for the extra kill. And they'll manage to pick up.
With Iceborne Gauntlet, Ezreal can solo push in mid very safely.
Smacking some minions down in the mid lane.
Oh yeah, Flash Wolves also rotating Maple up to the top side now.
When NL can push safely by himself, you know that things are fucked.
Well, they also just use the blue buff transfer as an excuse to do the dragon, which is perfect. That's what you do.
So far this game, very pretty, very crisp.
Some more stacks for Trista.
It is impressive that SKT is only basically 100, 200 gold behind, though, after a
But they're
2-tower
not, are
deficit.
they? Like, there's so much effective gold behind.
Yeah, exactly, from the double tier.
Also, like, So they've got dragon control with double tier against Nidalee, and now they have a second dragon, which means with double teleport they have a poking turret advantage. Like,
I don't know whether I want to blame this on the draft or whether I want to blame this on blank.
I think playing around
Wait.
Nidalee, SKT.
Boom.
This shit was awesome, by the way.
That's really good.
It's such a good roam from SwordArt.
Especially when it's like I'm safe and like.
Well,
SwordArt's
and
there.
you understand why Faker thinks he's safe right here.
Yeah.
Like, look at where his
There's
bottom
no
lane.
vision.
No, but look at where his bottom lane is. You have, these jokers have no business being right there in the jungle right now. You don't expect that. Like, look
watch his pathing because he's not spotted
Yeah.
by a ward. It's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no vision at all to spot SwordArt. Like, he just fucking roams straight up by the red buff.
Yeah,
like,
but
spawn.
you would never expect
No,
this.
sure.
Ever expect this. That's the thing, is that they go into that brush right there by the Krugs down here, and they clear out the pink ward,
Yeah.
and they have pressure. And not only that, your jungler is in the mid lane. You would never expect this Alistar to be in your own jungle at that stage. Ever. It's a good play from Flashwolf. It's very tricky.
He puts down a ward, the teleport
It's
comes
glorious.
Yeah, it's a really good play.
through. But like,
Like, he uses all of his dashes and just
Yeah.
boom.
but it's an even sicker play than that because.
Flash W from Rise into Parallel Convergence.
But just to know that you'd be rewarded to like path that way, put down a ward, and know that Faker would have to
Yep.
kite downwards. Because obviously, if he didn't kite downwards and went back, they would have tried to turret dive. But like the levels upon which this play were made is like
really good
underrated.
play.
And also like it's Flash headbutt pole. But like that play was made 30
It's a great
seconds
play.
ago.
SwordArt's fucking amazing.
It's not just that, everybody.
Yeah, but SwordArt definitely called that play.
Yeah, but everybody commits to it. I mean, Babel with the Flash W, and it's just the chain CC there is really well done.
Yeah.
And now it's Faker.
SwordArt's
you're
amazing,
super
and you
tempted.
listen to that man. I mean, you know a guy is good when he gets a fucking drive feature about him, or a fucking whatever it was, Legends Rising feature about him.
Duke with a bit of a drive-by.
All right, good defense there. I like that, actually. They, instead of pressuring that top turret,
Just sick.
flash out the jungler.
Look at this massive glide.
Because he even went for like the kilometer long
Yep.
Yeah.
QE
So
or whatever. It
good.
didn't matter.
And once again, we talk about the macro here from Flash.
Castle's not allowed red buffs anymore.
Or Ezreal. So Ezreal not only is it
Why does Iceborne go and let Ezreal take the red buff over?
Should not take
That's
it.
just stupid. Screw you, NL.
Stormraider Surge reduces
Because the stack doesn't. It doesn't even stack. Because of the way slows work, right?
I think the disappointing thing about that is Flash Wolves didn't get the mid turret actually off that push, which is a little weird.
Their siege is not great. Well,
They didn't have to have siege.
Yeah, you're
there.
right,
It
you're
was
right, you're right.
Dead.
It was-
I don't know how they didn't take mid.
I didn't see if there was a mana or health bar reason for that.
Twitch chat's not a fan of your feet.
incredibly scary to me. 'Cause that's usually they're that's usually
Push it straight into the fucking camera, just slowly, just.
Except your cat, but not your feet.
Not my feet.
Featuring Monte Cristo is one of the comments.
Stop drinking water.
You can't do anything right.
Sounds very frightening. NL clearing out the mid lane once again. Maple waiting with SwordArt here on the bottom
Well,
side.
I'm glad that Flash Wolves so far have shown up pretty well this tournament, especially
Oh.
NL in some of these matchups, especially this one. Like,
I mean, everyone took notice of Flashers when they 3-0'd AHQ, right? Like,
oh yeah, exactly.
everyone was like, wait.
that's
'Cause it
that's
was-
fucking enormous.
Because it was pre-planned, right?
AHQ has been on the top of that region since the fucking beginning of time.
Well, like AHQ,
Except for TPA, but yes.
Except for TP.
But like AHQ 3-0ing, like AHQ being 3-0'd is like a much bigger surprise than Rock's Tigers being taken down, right?
Absolutely.
Like much bigger.
Absolutely.
Because the narrative was like, check out this sick Chowie Westor crap.
They've been fucking massive, and since Kramer moved to, because Kramer played in the regular season played regularly last season for Flash Wolves, and he was doing quite well. And then going into playoffs, they decided to play NL, and the fact that it's paid off this well for them, it's really, really surprising.
It comes back to the communication stuff.
Yeah. It does, but also just the vast improvement. And Duke is just going to get dove on.
Wait, did Duke just ult
and
nothing again?
it's
Yeah.
yeah, he did.
Why does he double tap ult? He's not even in melee range.
And he
That was never ever gonna hit.
I guess he was expecting Maple to still run forward.
No.
No. There's no way you double tap here ever, because he's
Maple's not going to run into
Maple
range
doesn't
of
even
that.
have flash to flash on top of him.
You don't have to flash on top of him.
What I mean
anyway.
is like even in
I
like
don't
some random world where he flashes on top of him.
I can't play Devil's Advocate as much as I would love to for that.
Do play bad.
But
On the champion that he played 3 games in a row in the final and played great on.
yeah, I mean, this was one of the champions that you ban away from Duke was Poppy, and now it's like, what are you doing?
Well, it's not actually that much of a gold difference, though. I mean, basically, 3 towers. If SKT gets the outer ring down, they actually have a lead right now.
Sure, but what's the gold?
Yeah.
What's the gold worth of
Yes,
Seraph's
exactly.
Embrace, Rod of Ages,
Yep,
almost
of
voice
course.
stack, and specifically Mirror Mana, right?
Yep.
It's true enough because
Naturally.
see the music. Anytime
What's the gold value of having 2 dragons and soon to be a 3rd with this crap early game?
obviously ice spikes as well.
This has been a good game so far.
If Flash Wolves move forward though, and they make it to the finals at MSI, and they win, I don't think it's entirely likely. I think it's possible that they make it to the finals, though. I think they could very easily make it to the finals, maybe not win, but if they do that, NL gets to keep his name of never loses.
He already lost his tournament.
I always thought it was Netherlands. Because that's also
Unfortunately, that's not what it is. It's never loses. During World Scrims, he was holding up to it. He was actually dominating a lot of people during the scrims.
So the blue team versus the off-white
And
team.
everybody was just like, holy shit, this guy's actually like...
They stuck with
really
the
good.
colors. What colors SKT? Off-white.
Gray. Gray, the color of SK Telecom, I guess. Even though the
Mildly,
logo is red and
mildly
gold.
ill SK Telecom, like... Because that's not just like a white, it's like you look sickly.
That's racist.
What? No, it's not.
Quit being racist.
Bunch
It's
of
what
doors racist.
it's like what you and I look like when we had food poisoning a couple weeks ago.
trying to get the initiative in that fight. Whereas SKT, they're working with
So, Flash Wolves can just have Ezreal wave clear.
teleport, but a lot of mid lane control.
Yep.
Time for a 3rd dragon.
Then out of it, or if they just go for the steal. Blank going in, and looking for our good cast.
That flash was so bad.
It really was. I've got good news for you, Monty. That's number 3 of bad flashes for dragons this game. There's more coming.
Really?
Yeah, Blank's play around dragon this game is like abysmal.
That is even bigger than you think. Not only
That flash is such crap.
Let's see it again
No, it's not.
in IMAX 3D.
that Flash Wolves have
Oh.
2 extra cross-map opportunities for themselves. Now, not only do they have the dragon stack to continue, not only did they get
Alright, this is just a terrible situation. How do you even end up in this situation where double tier like 3 dragons for the enemy at 25 minutes, like your outer ring of turrets are down? Like, this is something that should never happen.
Oh,
First pick
shit.
Nidalee for Blank.
Here we go.
They could have had Kindred.
I think we're going to see the stock of Kindred rise substantially during this tournament. I think it's going to be a first pick, first ban by the end of the group stage.
It is already basically that. This is the exception game.
No, the other... Well, okay, this is the exception game, that's true.
We've seen Kindred first picked a few times today and yesterday.
It does bring in an interesting question, though, because we haven't seen Elise yet.
We have, yeah, that's a good point.
You know what would have been a really good...
Two
at least-
champ-
that was one of the most.
2 champions that are really surprised that we haven't seen are Elise and Corky.
Let me tell you a story. If Faker first
I think
picked-
Elise is more.
If they first pick Rise and late rotation to Elise, they would have won this game.
Yeah.
I think Elise is more surprising than Corky.
Because they would have taken
but-
Nidalee, and then they would have had Elise still.
Yeah.
Gives you options with double instant snare, or instant snare into Elise
Yeah.
return.
Yeah.
Instead they reach for Nidalee and...
Blank's a good Nidalee player, too. So, or, I mean, a good Elise player, too, so...
But if you're playing Elise, is it Bengi time?
Especially not.
Is
with
he
the,
in China? Do we know for sure?
not with the builds. that
Yeah,
we've
he
seen
is,
from
because they have to have a
Elise.
sub on site.
Every
And he's
team,
their only
every,
sub,
every,
right?
every team is required to have a sub on site.
He's the only official SKT sub now.
Yeah.
Yep.
How they used to have like one for every role.
SKT?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, they had Scout.
Well, Scout
Scout Blank.
Scout played every role, you know.
They had Scout Blank.
Peekaboo was obviously there at one point.
But that was before Scout turned 17.
Easy Hoon was obviously there. Well, it was like Easy Hoon, Tom.
Peekaboo was the most they ever had.
Okay. Having only one sub on the roster though is interesting.
And have so much control of this bottom side. They have complete vision. They can even catch you coming out of your base gates at this point. Yeah. So they have been really done a really good job of moving up that line of control. SKT just holding on.
So at this point, like,
Turrets here, and they're
the gold deficit that they've got, SKT is
And
in.
SKT again have this comp that does nothing in this scenario, but does everything if they had the 3 dragons.
Yep.
Because they can't kite back to anything.
I think I gotta stop running this shit. They went with the same comp twice today, and it's just very different than the comp they played
But
yesterday.
this comp's even better at kiting back, so you definitely need the dragons.
Yep.
Or the barons. Or something.
I can't wait until all of the dragons are random.
That's good shit. But anyway, I just don't understand how you even get yourself into this situation.
Exactly,
with
like-
SKT.
You can look at the enemy comp and know this is what we have to do.
Well, especially because it was going so well for them in the first 5 minutes of this game. Everything was just peachy.
And look, they were outfoxed. The first dragon was very creative by Flash Force, if you remember.
Yeah.
And,
That was really
and
good.
goes on to be like one of the main reasons they win. But
Right, just the misplays by Blank and by Duke in this game.
Pretty significant.
Duke misplays have been like just the fucking story of the day.
he's
though.
been better in this game. And
Blank has
Blank
been really bad at.
Blank's in Italy as well today. It's just not been good.
It just what he's doing with Nidalee is not why people pick the champion.
Yeah.
You don't pick him to run into a lane with no CC and chuck a spear from max range. It doesn't do anything. You pick him to go on the enemy's face and dick them, basically.
And it's
You have to throw
it's
the-
not like they don't have the tools to do that either. Like
They don't have
Faker,
the- you know.
Faker can play Lysandra
Yeah.
Or Rise.
or Rise.
They want to get the deep permanent.
This list was banned.
I just don't understand how you
Right,
have
not
the-
in this one,
How do
Or
you
is
have
the
the
game
first
before?
game and then
Okay.
first pick the Nidalee again when Rise is up and like Kindred is up? Like, I still don't understand. Like, is that just bravado of being like, no, we picked the right stuff, we'll show you now? Like, I just don't get it.
These wards, the permanent wards, in deep spots. There we go. He's going to replace the other one. They're
We'll see if SKT can adjust tomorrow or not.
opportunities.
But Flash Wolf's playing some really good League of Legends.
Turtling and huddling on their turrets.
Flash Wolves, I think, have the most impressive game performance of any team in this game.
Yeah.
I've seen this game before, and like they play super well.
But they do play very defensively from behind and make it really hard for you, even if you have a lead on them, to finish the game off.
I just don't think you can give up. Like the issue is like in the earlier game, right? Royal couldn't push, so you can give up objectives for 6-item fights. You can't give up. You
No.
lose the 6-item fights.
No, because the difference is like
There it comes.
This is a really great double teleport.
SKT's not setting up anything. Flash Wolves are setting up everything.
But the difference is that while SKT had an early game disadvantage but a late game advantage in the last one, with a nearly identical composition, this time they have the early game advantage but a late game
Because the
disadvantage.
enemy comp is totally different.
Yep.
But guess what? You notice the problem with this comp. Reactive teleport, proactive teleport. Only initiations are SwordArt and Maple. Maple realizes he needs to initiate and he has plenty of damage. What does he buy third item? GA. And now he can do whatever
we
he
talked
wants.
about that yesterday. You were pointing that out.
It's a totally different build to what Perks did, and this build lets him do this. He can go as aggressive as he wants and flash for the snare, and they will kill people when they snare. It's good target selection. They realized they couldn't get to those 4 people with Faker's ult up.
Well,
And
Pop
Hammer
Raid.
up, obviously. And
And
guess what they got during that time? 4th Dragon.
yeah, huge, great timing.
But they got 4th Dragon. Again, you still have to come back to it against like, it's just crazy. It's crazy the double tier comp has 4 dragons at 31 minutes.
Should never happen.
And SKT traded nothing for those dragons. They got nothing at the same time.
No, because Blank was in the wrong position at all times. He was not. Even when they were trading turrets, Blank was not in the right place. Even when they took the Rift Herald, Blank was not in the right place to actually use the empowered minions on the push. He's just been in the wrong place the whole game.
It started in Champ Select, when he was in the wrong place picking Nidalee.
Yeah, well, maybe we blame that one on Kola.
I just want to know when this region is actually going to get an English broadcast. It's, I think
The problem with that region, though, is that, like, half the teams are garbage.
Yeah.
Like, if there was,
True.
like, if they just broadcast all the AHQ, Flash Wolves,
Machi.
But at the same-
HK sports games.
well, then
only.
whatever. Just take out the fucking NA broadcast and put it to the LMS.
LPL doesn't get enough viewers, man. Like, no one's
Take,
gonna watch LMS.
take the NA broadcast, put it to the LMS. It'll be much more valuable.
Well,
I mean, value to what? High-level League of Legends VOD review? Yes.
Teams that'll actually make it further in Worlds.
people don't care about
I don't
Worlds.
think people care about that. I'm not sure people care about this tournament either.
Well, they should care about the teams that are the best.
If that was going to be your solution, then that is the lowest possible thing you could do. If you really actually cared about
Here's
this,
what you do.
would
Wait,
be
wait.
advocating more international tournaments at all times.
No, that is also 100% something that should happen.
So why don't we put all the...
I completely agree with that. I'm not discrediting that at all. I'm just saying.
What we should do is give all the Worlds resources, and we should swap SPO and Worlds, so Worlds can get SPO TV, and the Kesper Cup can get Riot level production. And then you have the best teams, man. That's what you really want to see.
Yep, you're already here, baby.
There we go.
It would be really nice if the LMS had a live English broadcast, but
It would be. They
Who's
deserve
gonna-
it.
but who's gonna pay for
like,
it?
the top teams are fucking great.
Someone needs
like,
to pay for it.
HQ Flash Wolves alone, and even TPA was performing quite well.
Yep.
Those top 3 teams alone could beat any North American team.
Yep.
sure. But China got an English broadcast because all the Korean players went to China and there was a lot of interest around it.
Yep.
Also Tencent owns, right?
No, that's not
No,
why.
I
if
know
the
that's
Chinese
not the
exodus,
exact-
if the
I know
Chinese
that's not-
exodus had never happened, I guarantee you that they wouldn't have an English broadcast.
Yep.
Korean exodus.
Fair
Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, wait.
Now, if Flash Wolves win
The
this
Chinese
event,
exodus is
if
never
Flash
happened.
Wolves win this event, there's a much more likely chance there'll be an English broadcast.
And that's why I hope they at least pick it in the finals, so they get more recognition as a region. Because
I think they have a lot of recognition already
just
for
happy.
making it for 2 teams making it out of group stages at Worlds last year.
I'm just happy that Clementshire was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clement being there is a great first step.
Yay! We love Clement.
I do love Clement. Man is my boy. I owe him a great amount of thanks for my time
So pause this game.
at the LMS.
What's your take on once again Lord Dominic's regard against self-heal ult, heal, rise heal, Alistair heal? Like, I just don't understand why
Blade.
he doesn't have.
I
Blade.
give it a 10 out of 10.
Like, this is like the picture perfect time to have mortal
I-
regard.
NL has it.
Well, the mortal reminder.
Mortal reminder, sure.
The mortal
Yeah.
Give me the mortal regards, okay?
The more like what's weird too is that Korean teams were the first ones that started primarily building mortal reminder instead
Against
of
Zillion.
against everything. They just built it all the time by the end of the season. So going back to the Lord Dominic's regard is quite strange, I think. You have the spell vamp, like you said, from Rise. You have the Blade of the Ruin King on Ezreal right now.
Self ult from Karma. For the healing from the Echo ultimate, and
Yep.
Kindred has sustain
Yeah,
as
there's
well.
no reason, I think, to have the Lord Dominic's regard right now.
Force you to make the risky plays. They don't take extra risks themselves.
This is like the 8th time SK Telecom has tried to take
Can
this
we
mid
push
turret.
out only Ezreal?
No.
Teleports come in again.
Yeah, Arcane Shift actually used aggressively. There's Bang! Gets blown up! Wolf now as well trying to
Meanwhile,
get
Cass is
back.
tanking 400 people in the back line.
Wipes him off it. Blank now caught out, but flashes out of the way. And Juve now, NL flashes out. He's going to be saved. And now MMD stuns up Wolf, who's not exactly the tankiest trundle in the book. Subjugate goes down. Now he is.
SKT are fighting them off. They've traded one for one.
But it's still a minute and a half until Dragon. But forcing 1 TP is at least something, because now they're only facing 1 TP to 1 TP.
Do they have Void Staff
Yeah.
on Rise yet?
Control of the territory.
No. No, they don't.
Oh,
It was going to be
at
next
this
time.
point, well,
Man, sort of right there.
Head into the Raptor pit.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they do now.
No, yeah.
Whether he does go home. But let's have a look at this one.
GA Void Staff. Rod of Ages with the Service Embrace.
SwordArt kind of messed that one up, but
No, he didn't. He flash headbutt pulverized.
oh, he got bang. He got
Yeah,
bang.
he
Yeah, he got bang.
he
Yeah.
completely likes
Yep.
the bang.
It was actually a sick play.
I thought he nailed Wolf right there. That's why.
Yeah, bang just gets fucking melted.
Off their own Kindred ultimate, beautiful, and then Duke goes in, takes NL.
MMD just tries to face dive through the Emperor's Device. And that's really
Faker
bad.
messed it up with the flash.
Faker.
It was an E. Like, why would you
He
even?
flashed as well. See, he flashed there, and he missed it.
No, Faker flash. I'm saying
Yeah.
NL dodged it with just the E.
Takes NL out of the fight. He almost took him down.
Yeah, he used the E right there.
Yeah. But Faker flashed and Maple.
Yeah, that's
NL
a
only had to
desperation
use
play.
E.
Had NL there. Really close margins on that AD carry kill.
Are you ready for some sick blank play around 5th Dragons?
Baker's hold it down.
Exactly right. Arcane Shift was used expertly there.
It might be the next one that's more egregious. I don't remember if it's this one or the next one. Spoilers, is another 5th Dragon.
Setting up shop. We'll see what he can do. Who he's going to be going for here. Faker, no.
Well, guess what? The Rise has GA, so he can teleport as aggressively as he wants.
Yep.
And he's just waiting.
Team fight to end all.
Yeah, and Maple looking for that teleport. He's going to start channeling now as well.
Super deep TP.
Yeah, he's going pretty far away.
That's fine as long as you distract
Are you
them.
ready for?
Yeah. I mean, it's 5th Dragon for Flash Wolf, so if they distract, it's perfectly fine by them.
Maple's looking to take him down.
But,
Wow.
like, Karsa gets booted away, but nobody can
Yeah.
collapse onto the dragon, so they still confirm the 5th. And SwordArt is just like, alright, I'll just recall on the Lamp Spite.
What a hero. He zones his entire
Can we watch that again?
Yeah.
So Duke completely smacks someone out at the end.
He knocks away Karsa.
So Blank went back and then was going to hop around the back, but realized that Rise was there. So
They knock out Karsa, but then they don't collapse on the dragon. They try to confirm it and take
yeah.
away the 5th.
Well, I mean, SwordArt literally runs at Blank the whole time to
Yeah.
stop him from getting.
Yeah, that's fine. And also, there's the two-man pull right there is
Yeah. He
absolutely
headbutted
huge
him.
on the bang.
It's on to Bang and Blank though, so Blank
Yep.
can't get to 5th Dragon.
Yep. That's good objective control from Flash Wolves. There's no chance for a steal.
There is though, because the Duke ult was onto Karsa. Karsa doesn't smite. They kill the dragon with just MMD and NL.
But not with the way SwordArt's playing, right?
Sure.
There's nobody even on the dragon.
Great.
He's able to survive for now, but the Dragon Balls MMD picks it up. And the
SwordArt just casually recalls.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, well, this is fine.
goodness. SwordArt, what a hero. He zones his entire health bar there on Alistar. Zoning
So Maple doesn't have teleport. This is a time to go to Baron.
for the team to get Dragon 5. They're able to get it, but they took so much damage. SKT are going to try and answer with Baron.
Yep.
And then just peel off.
Right here, they get chased off immediately. That was insanely risky.
So do you think it's better for them to contest this or to just go for... they have really bad vision control right now, SKT. But
I think you just.
I think you go for Baron right
Yeah.
here instead.
I think you
I
just
don't
go
think
straight
you
for the
fight
Baron.
this.
You just give away the 5th dragon. You go for the Baron.
You could do
try to
this
get your
so
losses.
fast with Nidalee.
I think specific. Well, the issue is there's 2 pinks in that kind of area from Flash Wolves as well.
I think you just go for it.
I think you have to. I mean, this is a really low percentage play
But
for SKT to contest.
it
you're
becomes
right.
a
Yeah.
matter of, like, if you go for the Baron, then Flash Wolves, if they want to contest the Baron, then you just peel off.
No,
Yeah.
because they already
But
committed.
Flash Wolves would
you
ki-
already won when they commit their teleport to that. As soon as Rise commits the
Yeah.
teleport, you can peel back and do Baron immediately.
But I'm saying, like, if you go to Baron, Flash Wolves are more than likely going to move people up to try to stop you, and then
That's
commit
a-
one person to the dragon,
then they lose.
and then you just fight a 5v4.
yeah, then they lose.
So I think
you
that
go
going
for
to the Baron is 100% better for SK Teleco.
Yeah, and they can do Baron really fast.
Yeah, SKT need to go back to base, lick their wounds. They're going to have to see
Faker able to take down a pink ward.
MMD actually in base. You take a lot of damage going for one of those objectives. The call is to be chase
So this is about turtling now.
also being able to fully reset. Now they should
Turtling against Rise
grab the
Israel.
Baron, stack Baron on top of Dragon 5.
There, look.
Knocking at SKT's doors.
NL actually has picked up a Hexdrinker at the same time. Was thinking about Stir Escape, but Flash Wolves has started off the Baron. Teleports to come in from Duke. They're looking for it right now, but Flash Wolves still want this fight. SwordArt knocks off Wolf. He's going to get deleted. Maple grabs it. The ultimate is going to. Flash Wolves has started off the Baron. Teleports to come in from Duke.
I mean, Bang's just not there for the start of this fight. And they're split.
But once again, the target selection's great. They just take the closest target, kill Wolf instantly. Free kill, no risk.
Yep.
SwordArt doesn't have to flash to get the ball. Bang is so far away.
He's still so far away.
Well,
I mean, he was so far away that
so where
entire
was Bang
time.
at the start? Was he doing red?
He was wanting to do red, and he's seen. Right there, on the ward, going to red buff.
So that's why they.
So they immediately pull the
the
trigger, yeah. This is a natural call.
The ward time's out, I think.
No, they saw him.
Yeah.
They see him right there.
Yeah.
And then go knocking at SKT's doors.
NL actually has picked up a hex drinker at the same time. Was thinking about their
Ward time's out, but they already got the information they needed that he was down there.
they're looking for it right now.
They turn, choose the right person. Bang has to run back, obviously.
And Wolf has to be there because of where Bang
Why does
is.
Bang go back towards red buff?
I don't know. That's the
Look at his
craziest
passing.
part.
He's like-
That's
he's like-
awful.
he's 3/4 of the way to red buff.
Yeah, that's really
They had
bad.
a ward. They had 2 wards in the area.
And they can still win this fight, by the way,
It's
right?
just major fucking miscalls by SKT.
I just don't know why.
Like, it's a 4v5, but they have a pretty strong poke composition right now. And Bang still has culling up. You don't go back to the red buff right there.
I mean, obviously you go back and then just loop all the way around for joining your teammates.
If you still have culling up, you can 100% contest this Baron.
That would be the most to take another game
Peculiar.
off of SK Telecom. By far and away, the favorite to win this tournament, and Flash Wolves making them look easy.
I just don't know how you feel you're safe enough to go to red buff.
Turret.
No, you don't. Neither of those times you feel safe enough to get the red buff.
Standing gold. It's still standing, Atlas.
The whole day has just been SKT faltering left and right.
But both Flash Wolves and Royal played much tighter than we expected.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah, but still,
I expected Flash Wolves, maybe not against SK Telecom, but I expected Flash Wolves to be really strong in this tournament. But showing up against SKT like this and SKT really faltering just basically hands them the win.
There are a lot of problems with SKT this game.
Yeah.
That turret, but should be easy to just knock over. But man, SKT just make you take this to the very late game. SKT, they're trying
reminds me of when KT went the outscale GP mid against Lissandra. Was that against? That was either against Rocks.
That was really smart.
or SKT. I think it might have been SKT.
It was against,
It was SKT, right?
yes. Where because they never played GP mid, and then they flexed it mid so they could take TP with the E. Because it was into Lissandra Elise.
Yep. Like they've just gone pure outscale. And,
That was a much more creative draft than this one.
no,
though.
for sure, but like,
This is MMD dying.
no, this is really good from SKT because Flash Wolves aren't in a position to get anything.
Yeah.
It's a free kill.
this kill even more important.
And they get Guardian Angel as well.
Yeah. Really doubling
It
down.
was a good call.
SKT has only taken one turret this game, though. Like, how does that even happen against, again, the double tier in the early game? They tried...
They just keep running blind pick Azir without teleport and getting bodied by not.
It's
doing
not even that. They could have won some of these skirmishes.
Sure.
Even against the double TP, they just misplayed it.
In position fight in a more
Sure, but if you misplay with double teleport, you have more, playmaking potential. If you misplay with single teleport, it's to the nth degree, right?
NL is capped. NL on Ezreal's already upgraded the boots and everything, so he's just going to be chugging elixirs for the rest of this game while Bang tries to fill in his last item slot. So the next, 5.
This is the second fifth dragon, right?
SKT.
Yep.
I think Blank loses this game alone right here.
Here's the teleport. They're starting it off again.
I don't think you ever make this play.
Side of this fight, Maple just going to wander down. It's Dragon number 5. Dragon number 6, actually, is going to be falling here relatively quickly. Blank wants to find it. Doesn't steal it away.
I don't think you ever go for that.
Grabs it. Suicides into the pit.
Like,
SwordArt.
you have a team that kites back with Azir and Trundle, and you go for a 50-50 steal. And it's not even a 50-50 steal.
Yeah.
He's out leveled as well, but like, you lose the game. Like it's the classic like, when people like flash for Baron buffs and you just lose the game because 5v4 is so much more important in 43 minutes. Like, why would you ever dive in as Nidalee there against Ryze?
Yeah, and you still have good wave clear, right? If they get a
It's-
siege even with 5th Dragon, you still have ways to hold on into this game. They can't really auto-attack turrets except with the Ezreal anyway with their 5th Dragon, and you have the Azir Sand Soldiers, you have the Pillar to set up the Sand Soldiers. I think you could just turtle this out.
It's just a crack under pressure for Blank. I feel like he just felt
Yeah, but why didn't
like
he?
he had to go
why-
and
why
try
didn't-
to get the steal. Like,
Why he didn't do this at IEM though, and he didn't do this in the finals, right? Which are arguably just as big stages. So it's weird that he would be having these issues now.
I don't know. It's certainly odd, but I feel like that's got to be the only logical explanation for it, is that he just felt the pressure and felt that he had
Yeah.
to go in right there.
I think SKT has been playing not to their win conditions all day, and they haven't been playing smart, and they haven't been thinking
Well,
about how
it
they
also
can win.
seems like the communication is not there, so maybe somebody...
It's just everything.
Yeah,
They ran
maybe
the
he
same
said like, I'm gonna go
twice.
for the steal, and somebody said don't go for it. Maybe they just
But they
didn't
ran.
listen to each
They
other.
ran the same comp twice against 2 different compositions, and they played it wrong both times.
Yeah, so,
And if anything,
yeah,
this
swap
became
turtle
more
top
of a
catch.
kite back comp, and they went for dragon stuff less. Like,
Which is also strange because SK Telecom's dragon control in the playoffs for Korea actually increased.
but this really does feel like middle of round 1.
Yeah,
You know, like
yeah.
Increased combat effectiveness, plus minion
the first week of Blank or something, right? Like,
Yeah, pre IEM.
Because like Blank has looked on a complete wavelength with the team and the game plan. Duke's been doing random stuff. Faker's actually been abnormally bad. In game 1, the previous game especially. This game he was fine.
Yeah.
In the previous game, his lane control was really bad. And Bang and Wolf have been okay.
Bang's been worse than usual, actually.
I think Bang gets... One of the problems SKT have is that if they lose the early game, Bang gets overshadowed because he's not a roamer. Like, he can roam, but like he's not Gorilla, he's not SwordArt, he's not a playmaker.
You
That's
mean
why
Wolf?
he plays so much Trundle. That's why I mean Wolf, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
He gets overshadowed by other supports. Mada, obviously, we got there too. Like, Wolf wants to stick next to Bang in lane, if possible.
Yeah. SwordArt's just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't classify it as a massive pulverize. It was just a zone.
There's 2 people.
It's just a zone to take
It's
the
a
turret.
late game pulverize, Monty.
Oh my god.
It's a massive one, man.
Oh my god.
Don't insult my Atlas.
I'm not insulting.
I know.
He's insulting my sword.
It's amazing how aggressive the positioning of Ryze can be with Guardian Angel. This. By the way, you should rewind. By the way,
What? That is such a bad TP. He's coming in to nothing. He's like, wait.
What do I do?
They're like, I don't have any
Oh.
wards. Oh, they're going to Baron.
They all ran up.
Shit.
Fuck.
but like,
I've
how
done
can that
goofed.
happen?
Uh,
That teleport.
I mean,
that teleport was that was an NA teleport.
that
right there.
TV
Yeah.
basically just illustrates all of this game.
They may have been
One.
able to. They may have been able to contest that.
Meanwhile-
Yeah, the TP right into their base. Goodbye.
And
And then SKT's
and
like,
then D's just
I
like,
guess we have to
fuck
fight,
it.
maybe.
What are they trying to do here? The back does come in, so Bang able to clear these things out, but MMD is trying to create a nuisance of himself.
MMD is so much better than Stake. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
But he only needs to be
Yeah.
the 4th best player on his team.
I mean, that was the big worry going into Worlds when Flash Wolves decided they weren't moving forward with MMD last year.
He might have
Because
changed though.
but that was also the concern, was that Stake played these very non-carry centric top laners. Stake had played
What he played
Maokai,
Aurelia.
he
Get
put-
out of here.
what?
He played Aurelia.
Not that much near the end of the season. Like he played like a lot of like Maokai, like Hecarim, like at the end, near the end of the season, and then the meta changed, and then it was like really bad Juggernauts and like Darius and that kind of stuff. And people were like, me included, were just like, we don't know if Stake is going to adapt, and they actually kind of did, and it was just like, oh, maybe they don't need.
To be fair, though,
they
in
did
the,
that.
in the
Steak was
post
pretty bad.
and the post-match
He
interview,
had some games where he was pretty.
in the
good.
post-match interview with
But
SwordArt,
even those few games where he was like doing well was more than we expected from Steak. But then coming back into the season, I was really happy to see that MMD had stepped back up as the top laner rather for Flash Wolves, because he was really good when he played. His teleports were really on point last season. His Maokai was really great. So I was happy to see him come back into the season. It's proven to be pretty good for Flash Wolves so far.
I mean, in the post-match interview, SwordArt says that they had to transition from Stake doing the shot call into SwordArt, though, so that's why they couldn't change around.
Yeah. And Carsol always just gets so fucking hyped.
Nice to hear the fans cheer for
Yeah.
the LMS team.
Yeah, the Taiwanese, which is
If you know a lot
surprising.
about the regional beef, it's heartening to see.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, SKT, just their win conditions were totally off in both of those games.
Who do you think was MVP of this game?
SwordArt,
Yeah, SwordArt for sure.
easily. It was very obviously Xiaohu and then SwordArt versus SKT.
So I SKT just, I don't know about this composition. I don't know about the Nidalee first pick. I don't know about Blank's play. He went from doing really well on Kindred
I just want to know
yesterday.
who said do it again. Was it Blank? Was it Faker? Was it Coma? Like, I don't know. Why would you do it again?
I'll just be interested to see if they pivot their draft tomorrow or not.
But the weird thing is,
I think they have to.
let's
No, they don't. They don't have to. They could have 100%. Look, I didn't like their draft in the first game. I did like their draft against Flash Wolves composition in this game. They just played it wrong.
So my question to
I
you.
didn't like the Nidalee.
So my question.
No, the Nidalee is fine. No, that is shit. The Nidalee is totally fine in
the
this
way they
game.
played the Nidalee was terrible.
It was bad. The way they
Yeah.
played it was bad, and they should not play the Nidalee anymore if they can't play it. But in this particular game, when the bottom side of the map is your playground is Nidalee against double tier, it is fine.
Yeah, because you just play the Nidalee again in the face of the enemy jungler instead of just taking camps. They didn't play with the Nidalee correctly.
But okay, so sorry. That's what I mean. Like, if they're not going to play it
Yeah,
that
just
way,
play Kindred.
then just fucking play the Kindred.
I think you should play
Because
Kindred.
Blank
Kindred or Elise.
has played Kindred so many times that he's proven time and time again that he's
But
very
it's even
good on the
simpler
Kindred.
than that. You
Just
first
play
pick
fucking
Rise,
Kindred.
they take Nidalee or Kindred, you take Elise if you have to, otherwise you take
Yeah.
Kindred. And life's
Elise
great.
is also perfectly fine.
Yeah. I think they should just...
So Monty, my question to you is
Agree.
that let's say SKT go on to they finish second or third overall, and then they win the tournament straight sets. How do you look back on a day like today? Because
Say his best of ones.
sure, but is this do we get creative and say that it's hiding strats, so they're stuck with the same thing?
No.
I think it's just a blemish on the face of their
Because
fucking
they played
streak, to be honest.
legitimately terribly in this game.
They did.
For their win conditions.
And in the first game.
They played
In the first game,
very
they just got
badly in
bodied,
both.
right? Like they got surprised by a poke comp.
Pick.
By a pick comp, sorry.
Yeah.
And in this game, they just didn't look at what the enemy team did and lost at this.
I would argue they played pretty terribly in the first game, too, because they totally disrespected the Ignite in the mid lane, and they took skirmishes they shouldn't.
That's true.
And they took skirmishes that... They misplayed the skirmishes in this game.
Speaking of skirmishes, some skirmishes Saber on Italy, please.
Yeah.
Because again, they may go on to win this tournament. In fact,
They probably will.
I won't back down on my resolve, but you just don't see SKT playing like this in a day, because there was 2 games today. It wasn't just a best of one. It was 2 separate best of ones with the same comp, basically.
It's also that I don't think they're hiding strategies. I think that they felt confident with the compositions that they were winning in Korea with. And I think they didn't have... They don't believe that they had to change the priorities in their draft or change the priorities in their play. And I think that after... You look at day 1, these guys had 2, sub 25-minute games. Are you really, that spooked coming into day number 2 that your established strategies aren't going to work? Well, apparently should be. Maybe they got overconfident, but it was much sloppier today than it was yesterday.
Are you guys gonna do another game?
No.
No.
It's 2:30.
Yes,
It's 2:30. Yeah.